Hi everybody, my name is Charlie Chedester. I'm with Midwest Family Lending. We're very excited to partner with ADM schools to provide a financial literacy course so you can be financially successful. What does that mean? Well, a couple things. I want you to tell me on the post-assessments and questions and answers, what do you think that means to you? But what I want you to look at is the long term. A lot of people tell you, look at tomorrow, look at next month. So your short-term goals. I want you to focus on where do you want to be. And this vision may change. You may want to take and do one thing now and a few years later you change that. But the key is, what's it take to get where you want to go? Because if you know where you want to go, you can set up the proper steps and do the things necessary to achieve that goal. So it's all about having the options and you choosing where do you want to be and are you willing to take the steps necessary. So the 5-step plan we're going to run through, and you're going to see this in all the different episodes, all through freshman through senior, which is you need to take and learn to earn. So what does it take to do that? We're going to go through that here as today's lesson. The next step is going to be learn to live. How do you apply the job and career and the monies you're earning to everyday life? Big thing there is a budget. Next step is going to be learning to save. Now that you've learned how to get your career in place and you get your budget in place, can you learn to save for a rainy day, an emergency fund, let's call it. Next up after that, we want to learn to invest. And investing is going to be where you get to take and make your money work hard for you so someday you don't have to work as hard. You can reap the benefits. Lastly, it's going to be donating, giving back to the community, making yourself give back to the people that have helped you or other people that are in need. It really does a lot of personal growth and it makes you a better person and it really helps those around you. Just remember, donate time and money whenever possible. And when you're young, it's probably going to be time, and that's great. All right, let's jump into today's lesson, which is we're going to take and learn to earn. And the big chunk of that, grades. If you drop out from high school, getting a job and having one that's going to support you and do what you want to do, it's very difficult. So our A1 step is to graduate from high school. But we don't even just want to do that and say, hey, I got my diploma. We want to get the best grades we can get. And we want to be as well-rounded as we can be. You may be really good at math or science or English or Spanish or whatever it may be, but try to be as strong as possible in all areas. Ask questions. Develop those skills so when you have any obstacle come up, you can be as confident as possible when you have decisions to make. That's the key, is you having the options to make decisions to get where you want to go. Now, good grades are going to get you a few things. It's going to get you to play in the athletic events you want to play in. It's going to get you to participate in extracurricular activities. That's important. But what I want you to focus on is how much money can good grades earn you? How much time can good grades save you? If you take and put in and get good grades, you develop that work ethic, and you also develop a good overall resume that shows you're a good person, you're a good risk to somebody else to support, that's what grants and scholarships do. They support you in your endeavors in getting to further your education. And another piece you can take and do is your AP classes. You guys have the choice to take classes that will count towards college credits. That is a huge money-saving opportunity. So I don't know about you, but if you were to look at every AP class and say, every credit hour is going to save me $100, or $200, or whatever that number is. It's nice. You can put that money in your pocket because it's not taking the funds out of your checking, savings, or making you take a loan out for school. So let's focus on grants and scholarships. Grants and scholarships are basically free money to apply to your continued education. Trade school, college, university, whatever it may be. So for a sample, we're going to say you've got $80,000 for a 4-year degree. So $20,000 per year. Now, if you're to have to borrow against that and do $80,000 in loans, you're going to have a pretty good chunk of change that you have to pay back. And that's okay. It's a good investment in your education. But if we can get some of that free by grants and scholarships, or AP classes counting to reduce that cost, then you're going to take and have that much less you have to come up with in monthly payments or cash to pay for college. So let's say of the $80,000, you have to pay $20,000. So you've got $60,000 in grants and scholarships. Now, if we do the easy math, how much did that save you? Well, most people are going to take and say $60,000. And that's not really true. $60,000 is what the cost is. But if you finance it, and it's very similar to using a credit card, they're going to charge you interest to do it. Well, student loans are a little better than a credit card because you're going to have benefit from it. But if you can factor that $60,000 and you would have paid probably a 15-year student loan, let's say, that's actually more like $100,000. I don't care what you call it, 100G, 100K, 100 large. $100,000 is 1,000 C notes, 1,000 Benjamins. I don't know how many of you guys carry $100 bills very often, but they're kind of hard to come by. I try to hold on to those when I get them and not break them because they spend very easily once you break them. So if you can put $100,000 in your pocket because of good grades right now, that is a huge savings. So there's a lot at stake for what you do now. Your decisions now can save you a ton in the long term. Now, not even on the savings. Let's move on to how much you can earn. I've got a quick little video here I want you to check out because this is going to show you visually what a high school graduate compared to a college graduate is going to earn. And I think you'll like it. Check it out. Okay, everybody, here's our chance for a visual. We've gone through a lot of talking. I want to show you what your first 2 months as a high school graduate's salary is going to look like. This is $5,000. That's 2 months of earnings, and that equates out to a $30,000 per year job. So, not bad. You can support yourself, I'm sure, but we also need to learn about gross. Again, how much you earn is your gross income. You take out $1,500, and now you're down to $3,500, which this would be your net. That's how much you get to spend. That's how much your budget's going to take and be allocated for if you earn $30,000 per year as a high school graduate. So, that brings us to one of the main purposes we've been bringing up, which is why should you further your education? No matter what type of education you're going to look into, there's a lot of choices. What is that diploma or that degree going to be worth? Well, I think this is kind of fun. Quite a bit. This is $3,500 net take home. That diploma or degree, now you got $6,000 net take home. That's over a 70% increase compared to just having your high school diploma. So again, I don't know about you, but when you look at either of these piles, $3,500 to spend in your first 2 months as a high school graduate versus $6,000 to spend as your net income as further education, it's hands down. We want to definitely give you the opportunities to have this bucket available to do the things that you want to do. All right, I hope you liked that. That was a heck of a lot of fun for me. I don't get to have that much cash very long and very often because, well, the bank wants it back. So we had $9,500 total sitting here in the office to show you that example. Now, when you see how much take-home pay, which is your net, what that looks like compared to your gross, because again, your gross is what you technically earn, your net's what you get to technically spend. So when you look at a high school graduate having net take-home for the first 2 months, around $3,500, compared to the net take-home for a college graduate at right around $6,000, that's a big difference. Think of what you could do with those funds. And again, that's where we want to leave your options open. If you do the good work, solid work now and make the effort to do your best, it's going to make everything else all the easier. If you avoid right now, long term's hard. It gets harder and harder the longer you wait because most people get scared or they dig a hole they can't get out of. So again, saving these, using these wisely is very, very important. I want to see you have all the choices in the world to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And making sure you do the right things, prove yourself as a strong, worthy candidate and as a hard worker is going to earn you a lot, not just congratulations and a good grade. It's going to earn the equivalent of a lot of cold hard cash that you don't have to spend. Or, because you did it, then you start earning more. Therefore, it's actually cash in your pocket. Either way, it's a lot of money that you can save or earn, and therefore, directly to you is a huge benefit. Now, the other thing I want to take and deal with is making sure you realize where this program is going to go. We've got the Learn to Earn, which is your good grades. We're going to move on later to the Learn to Live and budget and everything else that takes the income that you're earning and using it wisely. And you're going to learn to save, and then you're going to learn to invest, and then you're going to make sure you can continue to donate back to those around you in your community. So thanks for tuning in. This is our first segment. I hope you got a lot out of it. I want you to take this home, talk to your friends, your teachers, and most importantly your family. Find out what your family has done that they like, their successes, and maybe the stuff they look back and say, I wish I'd have done that different. You can learn a lot from those people around you, because most of them are going to share with you what worked for them, what didn't work for them, and suggestions they may have. That empowers you to make the choice that's right for you. I don't want to push anything on you. I want you to be able to know what your resources are, what your options are, and you pick. Because you get to pick what that long-term means. Nobody's going to force you into any hand. It's completely up to you. And that's kind of cool. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.